Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're building a simple memory game using React. This is a great project to practice using React components, props, and state management, so if you're new to React, you're in the right place. Let's jump right into it. First, we define the cards component. This component manages the state of all the cards, handles the game logic, and renders the individual card components. We define the item state, which holds an array of card objects, each with an ID, an img source, and an empty stat string for status. We also shuffle the array using sort, with a randomizer to ensure each game has a new card layout. We're also initializing a previous state, which will keep track of the previously clicked card, allowing us to compare it with the current selection. With useEffect, we detect any changes in start again. If it's true, we reset the items to their initial state and shuffle them again. We also reset previous to -1 so the game starts fresh. The check function compares the IDs of the currently selected card and the previously selected card. If they match, we mark them as correct. If they don't match, we mark both cards as wrong, and after a brief delay, we reset their status back to empty. This creates a nice visual effect for the user. In the handleClick function, we check if no card has been previously selected. If previous is -1, we set the current card state to active and store its index in prev. If a card was already selected, we call the check function to see if the two selected cards match. In the return statement, we're mapping over the items array and rendering a card component for each item. We pass the necessary props to each card, its item, its ID, and the handleClick function. Next, we have a functional component named card. We're using destructuring to grab the item, ID, and handleClick from the props. Inside the component, we determine the class for the card based on its state. If the item has a status, we'll add active and the item state to its class. This is useful for applying styles later. The return statement renders a div containing an image of the item. When clicked, it calls handleClick with the current ID. This will allow us to handle the click events in our parent component. Let's take a quick look at the app component, which serves as the main controller of our memory game. We have a state variable startAgain initialized to false. This state will help us reset the game whenever we need by triggering a reshuffle of the cards. The handleStartAgain function changes startAgain to true to reset the game, then quickly sets it back to false after 100 milliseconds. This short toggle triggers a full reset of the cards component. In the return statement, we have a title, a button to restart the game, and the cards component, which receives startAgain as a prop to detect when it should reset. Now that we've covered the code, let's talk about some common pitfalls. Beginners often forget to pass props correctly between components, which can lead to unexpected behavior. Also, be careful with the asynchronous nature of setState. Always use the updater function or spread syntax to create a new array or object to avoid mutating state directly. When structuring your components, keep them small and focused on a single task. This makes your code easier to read and maintain. Additionally, using clear and descriptive naming conventions for your variables and functions can save you a lot of debugging time. Finally, always consider performance. Avoid unnecessary re-renders by keeping your state management efficient. To wrap up, we built a simple memory game using React, and you learned about components, state management, and handling user interactions. I encourage you to modify this code, try changing the images or adding new features. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or let me know what topics you'd like me to cover next. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more coding tutorials. Happy coding, and see you next time.